Hello and a really warm welcome to all of you dedicated teachers, tutors and school leaders joining us from right across Bangladesh. Here at Evidence-Based Teacher Development, our whole mission is about taking all this amazing global research and making it work for you, right here in your classroom. And today we are tackling a big one, a challenge I think every single one of us knows way too well.
You know the feeling, right? It's Monday. You've just taught a brilliant lesson. The kids are buzzing. They totally get it. They're acing the practice questions. And then Thursday rolls around and poof, it's gone. It's like it never even happened. It's this silent battle we're all fighting against forgetting. And honestly, it can feel like it just pulls the rug out from under all our hard work. But what if there was a way to actually win this battle?
All right, let's get into it. And I want to start with an idea that I find, well, totally liberating. Here it is. All that forgetting, it's not your fault. It doesn't mean you're a bad teacher, not at all. It just means we've been trying to work against the brain's natural programming. So what if we could learn to work with it instead?
Okay, this right here, this changes everything. The brain is built to forget. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Think about it. Your brain is hit with millions of bits of information every single day. If it held on to everything, it would just crash. So it has to be super efficient. It's constantly doing a cleanup, asking, have you used this recently? No? Okay, out it goes. It's just trying to save space.
And you know, this isn't some new discovery. Way back in 1885, a guy named Hermann Ebbinghaus figured this out. He created what's called the forgetting curve. And it's kind of shocking when you see it. It shows this massive, steep drop in what we remember almost right away. I mean, without us doing anything to stop it, over half of what your students learned on Monday is just gone by Tuesday. The brain's logic is brutal but simple. If you're not asking me for this, I guess it wasn't important. Delete.
So how do we fight back? Well, this quote from Daniel Willingham just nails it. Memory is the residue of thought. Let that sink in for a second. It means our job isn't just about delivering information, it's about designing experiences that make our students think. Because it's the thinking part, that's what leads behind a memory.
Okay, that sounds great, but how do we actually do that? How do we get them thinking? Well, that's what this next section is all about. We're going to look at 4 super practical, evidence-based tools. And the best part? You can use these in just the first few minutes of your class to completely flip that forgetting curve on its head.
Tool number 1, spaced practice. It's basically the opposite of cramming. Instead of one long session, you spread the learning out over time. Every time a student has to recall something after a bit of a gap, it's like they're sending a little ping to their brain that says, hey, this is important. Don't delete this one. And each one of those pings helps to flatten out that steep forgetting curve.
And listen, this does not have to be some huge, complicated thing that you have to plan for hours. Seriously, just try this. At the start of every lesson, put 2 questions on the board. One about what you did yesterday and one from last week. That's it. It's a tiny 3-minute habit that has a massive impact.
All right, tool number 2 is retrieval practice. And honestly, this is the real powerhouse. Think of it like a workout for the brain. The act of trying to remember something, pulling it out of your memory without peeking at your notes, that's what makes the memory stronger. You know that feeling when the answer is right there on the tip of your tongue? That little bit of struggle? That's not a bad thing. That's the magic moment. That's the brain building a stronger connection. So what does this look like? Super simple. Instead of students just passively copying your notes, say, okay, everyone, book's closed, you've got 2 minutes, write down everything you can remember about this topic. The trick is to make it super low stakes. No grades, no pressure. Mistakes are awesome. They're just information for you and for them. It's about making it safe to try and to maybe get it wrong. Okay, our third tool is called interleaving. And the cricket analogy is perfect here. A great batsman doesn't just practice one shot for an hour straight, right? No way. They mix it all up, so they learn how to pick the right shot for whatever ball comes their way. Interleaving does the same thing for our brains. Instead of just drilling one type of problem again and again, you mix them up. So, imagine a math worksheet. Instead of 20 identical algebra problems in a row, it has a mix. A little algebra, then a geometry question, then a word problem. What does that do? It forces the student to pause and think, wait a minute, what kind of problem is this? What tool do I need to use? And that decision, that's where the deep learning really happens.
And our last tool for the classroom is dual coding. This is so cool. It's about giving the brain 2 different paths to the same memory. You have the words, and you have a simple picture or diagram. It's like having a main road and a backup route. And in a place like Bangladesh, with so many languages in one classroom, this is a superpower. A simple drawing can connect with every single student. And please, hear me on this. You do not need to be a great artist to do this. We're talking about super simple stuff. Stick figures, boxes and arrows, a basic timeline, even just using 2 different colors of chalk can work. The key is that the visual has to mean something. It's not decoration, it's part of the information.
So, those 4 tools, they're amazing. They can transform a single lesson. But if we want to create really, truly lasting learning, we have to zoom out. We need to go from thinking about a lesson to thinking about the whole system. We need to build memory into the DNA of our schools. It's about remembering by design.
I love this analogy, the national anthem effect. Think about it. When was the last time you sat down and tried to memorize the national anthem? Probably never, right? But you know it by heart. Why? Because the system makes sure you revisit it again and again in a meaningful way. Our curriculum needs to be that system for our most critical knowledge.
Here's another one. You know how every episode of a good TV show starts with previously on? It gets you caught up, it reminds you of what's important. We need to do that with our teaching. Every new topic should start with a quick previously on moment. Hey everyone, remember last term when we talked about this? What were the key ideas? You're just activating what they already know, and it makes the new stuff stick so much better.
Okay, this leads to a really big idea, a game-changing rule for how we do assessments. And it's this. From now on, every single test, every single quiz you give should have at least 20% of the questions on it from old material, from previous units, from last term.
Why is this so powerful? Because it changes the entire game for students. It makes cramming impossible. If a student knows for a fact that stuff from 3 months ago could be on the exam, they have to study differently. They have to aim to remember, not just to pass the next test. It's the loudest possible message we can send. We care about what you keep, not just what you can remember for a day.
Whew! Okay, so we've gone all the way from how a single neuron works to how an entire curriculum should be designed. That's a lot. But the good news is, you don't have to remember all of it. Because here at EBTD, we've bundled it all up for you in a fantastic practical guide that's designed to help you get started with this tomorrow.
And this guide is more than just a few tips. It's a complete toolkit. It's going to walk you through step by step how to design these unforgettable lessons, how to get your whole school on board with this, even how to teach your students to become better learners themselves, and most importantly, how to lead that culture shift that makes it all possible.
So go ahead and download your free EBTD guide to memory right now. This is your roadmap. It's your next step towards building a classroom and maybe even a whole school where learning doesn't just happen, it lasts.
Now, let me just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. What if your students stopped asking you that question we all dread? Sir, will this be on the exam? And instead, they started asking, ma'am, when are we going to see this idea again? Just imagine that shift. That's the real prize here. And that's a change we can absolutely make happen together. Thank you so much for your time.